One of the biggest perceptions we have at the minute, I think, is the fact that we're only for better players. So with AP1, last few generations we've had, we've really taken it to a new level, and it's become an iron that's as forgiving as any of our competitors out there. Except we just need to get more people trialing it and using it. So I think with this current generation of AP1, I think one of the main changes that we've made, I think if you look cosmetically, we've got rid of what was the bar that went across, which was supporting the face. Okay, so the first big change in AP1 is what we're calling a deep 360 undercut design. Okay. So if you look here with 714, we basically had a bar and we had a dual cavity. Okay, so now we've moved to an undercut design, which takes out that bar, and it's now a lot thinner, unsupported, so you get more of that trampoline effect.
So it works more like a wood?
Absolutely. So exactly the same as what you would find in the 915 range. So it doesn't have that. So what happened was, because there's actually no support there, we actually had to change the material we used because it kept breaking, because it was too thin, it wasn't rigid enough, and kept snapping. So we've actually changed the material to be a new steel, which is 714 steel, a little bit stronger. And then what that's really done is it's allowed us to lower the center of gravity, because there's more discretionary weight we can play with. We can put that lower down, helps lower CG, launch the ball a little bit higher. A big thing that we've also introduced, and we've had this in previous generations, is the use of tungsten. Now, tungsten's a more dense material, so it allows you to use less of an actual material, but it's heavier, so you can use it out in the extremities, so you get more weight, lowers the center of gravity, increases the sweet spot. So on this one, for example, if you look at in our previous generation, we had 28.5 grams of tungsten in the head. We've now moved to be 42.5, so it's basically 50% more tungsten. And if you look over here, just to give you an example of what you've got our head, which is, so that's a cutaway of where we've put the tungsten. So we put it way out in the toe, so it increases the sweet spot.
So the metal's actually cast around the tungsten?
Absolutely, yep, correct.
It's not stuck in?
Oh no, it is there, and then we put the faceplate over the top to cover it up. So if you look at the weight, if you just feel that, it's a real heavy material. This really is it is the most forgiving model in this kind of bracket of different irons. And I think when you look at the graph here in terms of our competitors and where we sit, it is without question the most forgiving on the market. And we find a lot of our competitors that sort of look for, whether it's distance or forgiveness, they're sacrificing something else in that makeup of the club to deliver that result that they're looking for. Whereas we believe, like I said before, it's all about the overall performance. So it's making sure that every element of the benefits of the head work together to drive and give us this this forgiveness and distance package, which works great in AP1. You know, there really isn't a standard spec in terms of loft and lie, and no. Our 3 iron is another competitor's 4 iron or 2 iron or wherever we are. So we did some testing where we actually made the clubs exactly the same in terms of length and lie to give us a kind of a better comparison of what those clubs delivered. And I think when you see this in terms of carry versus the competitors, you know, we were outperforming them on all levels, whether it's carry versus our competitors, or when you look at the dispersion area here and how tight the pattern is. Because, you know, that's a lot of the things we'll see is, with some of the competitive models, there may be that 1 in 10 shot or that 1 in 20 where you absolutely do everything perfect, and it will go miles, because arguably you're hitting another club. It's almost that. But when you don't,
at this chart, this is more forgiving overall.
The overall package.
One of those might be better for distance, one might be better for dispersion.
Yeah, absolutely. And what we're trying to do is give a golfer of all abilities the overall performance, which will hopefully help them shoot lower scores and play better golf and enjoy it more.
And are you expecting many players to try these on tour this year?
I mean, I think it's the same with all of our models. We design every club we do to fit all types of golfers, so we will see some golfers in this. You know, we've got a small percentage of our tour guys that will use AP1, whether it's a Ben Curtis is an example. Zach Johnson actually has an AP1 4 iron in the bag, and he used that to use the Open a few weeks back.
Because they feel a little bit more compact as well.
Yeah, and I think that's a very, very key point to us is we don't want to just create a massive head to give us this forgiveness. It's all about, and that's again where that use of tungsten really comes in, where we can keep that blade length and the look of the club to what that type of golfer we feel wants to see, but not having to sacrifice any of that forgiveness and workability and playability that they're looking to deliver. So, should we have a whack with it?
Good strike.
That's all the way you want to do, isn't it?
Yeah. Shot's a normal shot shape for yourself. Is it a draw, fade, high, low?
High.
High, yeah.
High.
Those last couple you've hit there, would you class them as?
I'd say my normal shot, it sounds stupid, is fairly straight.
Okay.
As in, I'll turn up on one day and it'll be a slight fade, and one day it'll be a slight draw.
Okay.
But it's quite up and down. It's not lots of movement.
Sure. Good shot. Okay, great stuff. So you've obviously been on TrackMan and things before. You kind of know numbers and things that you're kind of looking at. Okay. So this is obviously dispersion kind of chart here. A couple of things that we're kind of picking up on. So the nice shots, the shots that I'm kind of going quite straight there. Launch and spin look pretty good. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, that's a general rule. Obviously, spin rates kind of differ depending on how you deliver the club to the ball, but as a general rule, around about 7,000 is not a bad ballpark figure for a 7-iron. Launch angle there, pretty good for a 21 with a 7-iron at your kind of ball speed, at your kind of club head speed as well. One thing which is kind of jumping out a little bit for me is that your efficiency rating is quite low. So obviously, smash factor is a good indicator of how much effort's being matched by the club versus your club head speed. Minute there, 1.26. A little bit on the low side. I mean, we kind of looked at to kind of get up to over 1.30. So in other words, you can still swing it at your club head speed with a 7-iron at 81, but get more ball speed, which should obviously in turn get more distance hopefully with us as well. So I've built you just an AP1 with our stock XP90 shaft in there, just for you to get a feel for the new shafts. This is ½ inch longer, so the same length as your Mizuno's.
Okay.
So it should be a pretty good comparison in terms of the length here. Obviously a little bit of a lighter shaft compared to the C-Taper, which is quite a bit heavier. But it'd be interesting to kind of get your feedback on if the feel of that kind of faster face on this. Obviously the look should be quite different as well. Great shot.
No, it feels very good, very solid.
Yep.
I think the big difference compared to the old AP1, this just looks like a bigger AP2. It doesn't look like a game improvement club in the same way.
Yep.
It's chunkier than I like to see.
Yep.
But it looks more player orientated.
Yep. Definitely, I think. Yeah. I mean, I think that's part of the important thing with the AP1s is that whilst we want it to look like it's going to offer you a lot of forgiveness, we kind of make a considered effort. That's kind of as long as we want to make an iron, so we don't want to kind of give you an extra long blade length just to purely give you higher the MOI ratings or increase the ball speeds and things like that. Obviously we're doing it with a slightly smaller blade length, but the use of that, obviously that high density tungsten, giving you as much and more of that MOI rating and ball speed as well.
Yeah, it looks like a golf club and not a science experiment or a spaceship.
Absolutely. That's a good way of putting it, that is, yeah.
And how did that compare to my 7-iron?
Yeah. So I've got all the shots here, so you can see straight away, a couple of yards more on average, but what was interesting was that the ball speed has shot up a little bit now, so 1.29.
Yeah.
Have kept a bad one on there, 1.22.
Yeah.
Okay. That was the one that you hit a little bit clean, a little bit thinny. Now if I was to be kind, because you didn't really do that with any of yours, if I just hide that one shot and leave the rest, now all of a sudden, there's about half a club change there to say close to 145. Spin rates now have gone up to say 6.6, so a little bit closer to what we would want with a 7-iron, give you a bit more of a stopping power on the green. In today's kind of weather mine, that's not really a problem, getting the ball to stop. But the good things here is that the club head speed, you've warmed up a little bit more now, so it's 0.4 mile an hour faster. Ball speed though has responded quite a lot, so 4 mile an hour faster off the face now is a lot, 4.6, which is huge. That just makes up your efficiency rating just jump up a lot. I mean, 1.33 I believe is PGA Tour average, so 1.31 we're getting pretty close to kind of the numbers that we would expect to kind of get out of you for a fitting point of view. obviously it's going to land a little bit softer. Launch is actually very similar to your current Mizuno's, maybe a quarter of a degree lower. But obviously with that extra spin rate plus the extra ball speed, it's just going to peak a little bit higher and land a little bit softer for you as well.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see it's definitely going up higher.
Straight away, you can definitely see straight away it's going up in the air. I think more so just through the extra speed and the spin. I mean, the launch characteristics are really similar between the two.
We've just hit all the new Titleist 716 models. I've got here the AP1. It's the most forgiving iron that Titleist ever made. It was by far the most forgiving iron I hit today. It's a chunky-ish iron, but it's a lot slimmer than most similar products. So if you compare it to, say, a G30, it looks much more traditional. Definitely less offset as well. It goes like a rocket, and it's probably what I should play if my ego didn't get in the way. And feels nice and soft, even though it's a cast product, not a forged product. This is a really good club for most people. As I said, if my head wasn't too big, I'd use it myself.
Yeah, I was looking you up online actually. You used to be a bit of a bad boy, didn't you?
Yeah, we did have a bit of fun at times, recently.
What did you used to get up to? Come on, you can tell me, I'm only a puppet.
Well, you gotta promise me you keep your mouth shut.
I'll keep your mouth shut.
Alright.